This week's weekly ritual is dedicated to the memories of John Zazula of Megaforce Records and former Dark Tranquillity guitarist Fredrik Johansson, who both died this week. Rest in peace. What's up, everybody? It's Keefy. You're watching the Weekly Ritual, Ghost Cult's news show, right here on YouTube. If you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe. GhostCultMag.com is a small business. With that out of the way, let's get into it.
In case you missed it, features at Ghost Cult.
We kick this week's features off with an awesome interview with John Cooper of Skillet. Their new album, Dominion, is out now on Atlantic Records. We also interviewed hardcore legend Andrew Neufield of Comeback Kid. Their brand new album, Heavy Steps, is out now on Nuclear Blast. You can also catch me on the Glacially musical Pouredcast. Beer, metal, swearing, vinyl, and more.
And now, the news rundown.
Christmas came early this year, as the Decibel Metal and Beer Festival happened in Philly this June. And it's got a banger of a lineup. Cannibal Corpse, Candlemass, Wolves in the Throne Room, the Red Chord Reunited, and many more. Tickets are on sale today. Full Terror Assault Fest for next September has announced the first 30 bands, including Municipal Waste, Pig Destroyer, No Mas, and many more. This year's Damnation Fest in the UK later this year is moving to Manchester, and it's going to be sick. At the Gates has announced they will perform all of Slaughter at the Soul at this year's festival. The festival also includes incredible performances expected from Ministry, Converge, Pig Destroyer, Destruction, Despised Icon, Elder, Pallbearer, Full of Hell, and more. Iconic punk band Circle Jerks is hitting the road for their first tour in almost 15 years, and they're going to be joined by 7 Seconds, The Adolescents, and Negative Approach on certain dates. This is to celebrate the 40th anniversary of their Wild in the Streets album, which is getting a reissue and has a new music video out. Saxon's new album, Carpe Diem, is out today, and they booked a brand new string of tour dates with Diamond Head in the UK. Sleep has added another date to their 420 string of tour dates this April. They will play a second early show on 4/19, perhaps with a late show. They will count down to Weed Day, 4/20. Happy Weed Day, everybody! Converge has announced their first string of tour dates supporting their current album, Blood Moon 1, in which they will perform all of Blood Moon 1 on the tour. British metalcore band Envisions has announced a string of headline shows, record release shows, in fact, for their upcoming album Deadlock. Architects Sleep Token and Malevolence will do a brief arena tour this spring in the UK. Architects will be supporting their upcoming live album, For Those Who Wish to Exist, live at Abbey Road. Insane Clown Posse is hosting the Juggalo Weekend coming up soon in Tucson, Arizona later this month, and it's going to be a banger. They're going to have 2 headline days. Each night they're going to play a set. One night they're going to be backed by a glam rock metal band and play glam rock songs and maybe covers, and the other night they're going to do a more traditional ICP set. Whoop whoop! Ginger has booked additional headline tour dates on the off nights of the Knotfest Roadshow this spring. Buried Alive, Sanctioned, and Age of Apocalypse will all get together for a tour very soon. Soulfly, featuring Dino Cazares of Fear Factory, will kick off another tour of the US this spring with direct support coming from Short Fuse and 200 Stab Wounds. All Them Witches have kicked off a new string of headline dates, starting here in the US and running the entire spring into Europe. Progressive metal bands Leprous and The Ocean have added more dates to their upcoming tour. Black Star Riders frontman Ricky Warwick will embark on a solo headline tour supporting his recent solo album, and he sent a message to fans urging them to support live music now, more than ever. Avatar, Thrown into Exile, Pupil Slicer, Cage Fight, Il Nino, those are just some of the bands added to Bloodstock Open Air 2022. Death metal legends Nile have kicked off a new tour of the US this week, but guitarist Brian Kingsland is home due to the birth of his first child. Congratulations, Brian and family. Filling in for Brian on vocals and guitar is Vital Remains Scott Eames. Congratulations, Scott, our dude. Orgy and September Morning are teaming up for a new tour of the US. Kitty has confirmed they will appear at the When We Were Young Fest. They were a little caught off guard by the announcement that they were on the fest in the first place. Their lineup will be comprised of Mercedes and Morgan Lander and Tara McLeod and Ivy Wuchik, the last touring lineup that Kitty had. Now for some cancellations. Life of Agony had to cancel the last few shows of their East Coast run, Lost at 2022, very clever title. Both Mina Caputo and Veronica Bellino have come down with COVID-19. Get well soon. Due to uncertainty with the pandemic in Europe, Hailstorm has canceled all of their European tour dates for 2022. They are working on a solution to rebook those dates at a later time. Similarly, Suffocation has also canceled their upcoming tour of Europe with Belphegor and Hate. Napalm Death has rescheduled all their European tour dates of 2022 to next year, and they have booked additional dates this spring in the UK. And Obscura has canceled the Quebec, Canada dates of their upcoming US tour, but they've added additional dates in New York and New Hampshire. Very excited about the return of Bandcamp Fridays, the first Friday of every day, at least through the spring of 2022. Bandcamp waives their fees and gives all the money to the artists. Please support underground artists, indie labels, and your friends. Red alert, y'all! Meshuggah is back. They finally dropped the first new single, The Abysmal Eye, from their upcoming album, Immutable, coming this spring on Atomic Fire Records. You can pre-order that album now. What does Corey Taylor think? Corey Taylor thinks the new Slipknot album is almost done. They're actually mixing it right now. They've picked the title, they've got the artwork all planned out, and they're still on track for a spring release. Super exciting! Love 'em or hate 'em, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame has announced their nominees for 2022, and they've got some metal artists and some not metal artists as usual. Judas Priest, Rage Against the Machine, Devo, the MC5, the New York Dolls, Pat Benatar are among the nominees that also include Beck, Eminem, Dolly Parton, Dionne Warwick, and more. The story that will not go away, Spotify vs. the world. Artists like Neil Young, Joni Mitchell, Graham Nash, and Failure have all pulled their music or will pull their music off the platform, who continue to not pay artists and support Joe Rogan with his $100 million podcast. This is a bone of contention for Neil and others. And Spotify's stock is totally tanked. And now we'll see what happens, but there's a lot of rumors about big stars leaving the platform like Pearl Jam and Foo Fighters. We'll see what happens next. Dave Mustaine of Megadeth now says that the new Megadeth album, The Sick, the Dying, and the Dead, will arrive by summertime. This is to get all the packaging and bundles lined up with the delays with the global supply chains. Dave has been giving interviews to places like Forbes talking about the metal tour of the year, and also always dropping little nuggets and riffs in his cameo appearances. Big news from King Diamond as he has given an update to fans on the whereabouts of the upcoming new King Diamond album, the first one in 15 years, tentatively called The Institute, and due out on Metal Blade at some point later this year or early next year. He showed a picture on social media of him at his desk writing lyrics. This is very exciting, because lyrics are usually the last thing to go on for King before he goes in to cut his tracks. New post-metal supergroup, Absent in Body, has dropped their first ever single from their upcoming new album on Relapse Records. The group features members of Neurosis, Amun-Ra, Igor Cavalera. Pam and Tommy, the new biopic series on Hulu, all about Pamela Anderson and Tommy Lee, has finally dropped their first batch of episodes on Hulu. You can watch the series starring Sebastian Stan and Lily James in the titular roles. And this series is all about the scandalous sex tape saga of Pam and Tommy in the 90s. The series also stars Taylor Schilling from Orange is the New Black, Nick Offerman from Parks and Rec, and Seth Rogen. Great news as Chad Gilbert of Newfound Glory pronounced that he is cancer-free on a post to social media. He's been through a terrible ordeal the last few months, but he's on the mend after surgeries and treatments, and we just keep our fingers crossed that Chad stays healthy. That's what I think of cancer.
And now for a look at some of the music on New Music Friday.
Abhorria, self-titled, Prosthetic Records, Abysmal Dawn, Nightmare Frontier EP, Season of Mist, Astrophobos, Corpus, Personal Records, Carathis, Sulfur, Split Release, Personal Records, Chamber of Torture, Phantasms of the Bedlamite, self-released, Korn, Requiem, Loma Vista Records, Kurakuma, Born of Obsidian, self-released, Lunar Tombfields, The Eternal Harvest, Ladlow Recordings, Mass Worship, Portal Tombs, Century Media Records, Mystic Circle, self-titled release, Atomic Fire Records, Obsidian Sea, Pathos, Ripple Music, Persephone, Metanoia, Napalm Records, Rolo Tomasi, Where Myth Becomes Memory, Monarch Music, Saxon, Carpe Diem, Silver Lining Records, Ceremonia, Neon Lucifer, Svart Records, Silent Skies, Nectar, Luminescent Records, and Venom Prison, Erebos, Century Media Records.
And now for a look in our mailbag.
We got some mail! Something in the mail from Heavy Temple, one of the coolest stoner psychedelic bands out there. They put out a killer new album last year, and we got something from them on the last Bandcamp Friday of 2021. Let's see what's in it. I like the packaging already. It's got like a little pentacle charm on this string. I like it. The mysterious purple wrapping paper.
Approximately 10 hours later.
It's a brand new trucker hat, because I don't have enough. This beautiful green heavy temple trucker hat will go great with any collection. Matches my battle vest, matches the green in my eyes. Thanks so much. They sent the sticker with a note on the back, and it says, "Thanks so much, Keith. Heavy temple. Rock it." You made it to this part of the show, so you know what time it is. It's the end. GhostGoldMag.com is a small business, and we really appreciate the support. As we say every week at this juncture of the show, it's a tough time in the world, so please take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and remember, kiss the goat.